Okay, right. So this is happening. Alright. This will be unedited. This will not be a rant, if that's what you're looking for. It won't necessarily be a rant. At least I don't think so. But I do got some things to say about the film Ghostbusters 2016. That's what I call it. I do not strictly call it Ghostbusters. When referring to this movie, I will either call it Ghostbusters 2016 or the Ghostbusters Remake. But, here it is. Saw it legitimately. Rented it through Netflix, or they call it DVD.com. And I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this day, to be honest. I refused to see this in theaters because I was not going to pay for this movie. I wasn't dead set against the movie, and I'm going to go into that in a minute, but what do they always say? They always say if you don't want to see continuous remakes, the best way to stick it to those, to the people making remakes, is to not support them, to not give them your money. So that's why I'm not going to say I boycotted the movie, but I just refused to go see it in theaters because I was not going to be part of the box office gross for the film. I saw it here through Netflix. I'm not technically paying for the movie. I'm paying for the service. That's the way I see it. However, I did want to see the film. I wasn't anxious to see the film. I was never anxious to see the film because I heard so many mixed things about it. But it's when we all know it had a horrible marketing campaign. All the trailers were awful. We don't need to go into that. It did influence me to not go see the movie, but at the same time, I was still open-minded as to maybe I was still hoping that the movie would still be good. But I refused to go see it in theaters because I love my Ghostbusters. I love the original and the sequel. So all these reviews start coming out. Rotten Tomatoes gave it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. That means that there were enough critics registered through Rotten Tomatoes to give this a positive review. And then some of my buddies went to go see it and they said it was pretty good. But there was always one thing that bothered me when it came to positive reviews for this Ghostbusters remake. It's that no one ever gave it an overwhelmingly positive review. Every time there was a positive review for the film, there was always a barrage, this could sound funny, there was always a barrage of buts or howevers. So no one ever really gave this a truly amazing review. Everybody just kind of said, it's okay. And that wasn't necessarily good enough for me. So I said, okay, it's just okay? Fine. Well, then I'm just gonna watch it at home. So, after months of hearing bad mouth, obviously you had the haters talk so much crap about this. I did see some people on YouTube who I respect and I'm friends with, and I did see people who I'm aware of that do reviews. I'm not talking about big time YouTubers, mind you. I'm talking about people who I do communicate with, and I respect their opinion. And some people just didn't like it. I'm like, okay. I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a little biased. I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't a part of me that wanted to hate this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Ghostbusters, okay? I love the original films and the series and all kinds of stuff. So I took this remake a little bit seriously because even though I liked the concept that it dealt with women, I hated the fact that it did not take place in the same universe. That was the deal breaker for me. When they said that this was a completely different timeline, that the original films did not happen in this realm that we're seeing with these women, these ladies, that upset me because this could have been a great movie if it stuck to the timeline, if it paid proper homage to the series. It's that these women saw what these guys did back in the day and said, you know what, there's a lot of paranormal stuff happening. You know, in the 80s, these wonderful scientists stood up for something. They protected New York City. We want to do the same. Why couldn't they do that? I know I'm getting kind of heated. I don't want to do that. Let me just get to it. It's always 5 minutes in the video. Let me just get to the film. There might be spoilers. No, there's probably going to be spoilers in this video. And I'm going to try not to be on here too long, because God knows there's a shucks ton of reviews for this film already. The movie, in a nutshell, is incredibly mediocre. That's my opinion. I'm not influenced by what other people have said, and I'm not even really trying to compare it to the other films. I am really trying so hard to base it off of this film's merits, its own merits. I'm really just trying to focus on this film. And even when I do that, let me say this, if I compared this movie to the 84 classic, this movie would suck. I tell you right now, this movie is garbage. But on its own, it's still just mediocre nonsense. And the reason for that, and I'm sure you've heard this already, but this is coming from my opinion, from my stance in the movie, is that the comedic timing is just awkward. The script is crappy. The villain is annoying and boring and just pointless. These women, I like these actresses. I love Melissa McCarthy. I love Kristen Wiig. I'm not the biggest Leslie Jones fan, but I do give her some credit. She's quite funny. And Kate McKinnon is hilarious on SNL. She's probably the only reason to watch SNL. And these women, I will give them credit, they work very well together. They have good chemistry. And I would love to see them in a better movie. But in this movie, it just does not work. The writing is just crappy. The jokes aren't really funny. I never once laughed in this movie. I would maybe chuckle at a few things, mostly due to Kate McKinnon, mostly due to Chris Hemsworth, who I'll get to in a second. But I never really found anything overly funny. Now, in regards to the Chris Hemsworth character, everybody said that, oh, he's so funny, he's the funniest person in this movie. He's the one that probably... The reason why he's funny is because he's playing against type. That's why people find him funny, is that he's playing against type. Now, he is quirky and silly and, why is the frame rate dropping? I don't appreciate that. He does what he can, but I don't particularly think he's hilarious. I give him credit for showing the energy and the commitment to this character, but there are times when it's kind of like, okay, bro, you're just a little too dumb. That's another thing, and again, I know people have said this before, but every male character in this film is either an asshole or an idiot. Every male character, and I don't want to get into politics here. I don't want to say, oh, this movie has a feminist agenda. I don't want to be that guy. But there are moments where it's quite clear that they're going for female empowerment. That's okay. But you shouldn't have to make the male characters look like a-holes and idiots. The Bill Murray character, you can consider it a cameo, but I really do consider it a character. He's in a couple of scenes. Okay, fine, he's a cameo. I took no joy in that. I didn't, he just played an asshole. He wasn't even funny. It wasn't like that lovable asshole that we love from Bill Murray. He just was not a good character. He was a jerk. And not in a clever way. Matter of fact, I'm going to say right now, all the cameos sucked. I thought all the cameos sucked. They were pointless. Ernie Hudson's cameo was the most pointless. I mean, it was so predictable that he would be the Leslie Jones's uncle. But he was just so pointless. Like, it just wasn't even funny to see what he did. And then Dan Aykroyd playing the cab driver, saying, "I ain't afraid of no ghost." That's the thing. This movie tries to be its own thing, but it takes too many influences and lines and situations from the '84 film. Sigourney Weaver probably had the funniest cameo. And that comes, like, during the credits. Again, I'm not trying to rant here, not trying to be overly negative here. I'm just simply saying that this movie is just not very good. There were parts when I tried to like it, but it just, everything kind of fell flat. Now, as far as the special effects, as far as the action sequences go, some of that stuff I quite enjoyed. The best scene for me is the Ghostbusters fighting all of the ghosts in Times Square. Now, some people might think that that's overkill and it's not really what the Ghostbusters stand for. Maybe not, but at least that part entertained me. That part was cool. That, seeing these ladies do these awesome moves and then working this equipment, it was fun. It was quite enjoyable. I was going to say something right now. Oh yeah, one thing I want to mention is the cool thing about this Blu-ray, and I did say this, I forgot to say that. I watched my thoughts all over the place in this video, as they normally are. I watched the theatrical version. It was important for me to watch the theatrical version because this is the version that got that fresh rating, that made critics like this film. That when somebody gave it a positive review, this is the version that they gave their review based on. When somebody hated this movie, this is the version that they critiqued over their, reviews. So it was important for me to see the theatrical version. And I'm glad I did. I don't have any need to see the extended cut. This is the representation of the remake that I needed. And that's why I can even say more so that it does kind of suck. But the one thing I will give credit for the Blu-ray transfer, first of all, I heard that the 3D in this movie is incredible. And, obviously I've never seen it in 3D. I don't have a 3D TV. And it's not like they would send a 3D disc through Netflix anyway. But what is cool is that the movie, of course, is presented in the standard 2:40 aspect ratio. But some of the special effects, in fact, a great deal of the special effects, go out of frame. So it's kind of cool to see actual effects where the black bars are normally located. And I bet it would look incredible in 3D. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that it worked with the whole screen. I thought it was kind of cool. The side effect is, because these are some of these effects were in 3D, some of them look very cartoonish. Like when they go out of frame, sometimes it looks really cartoonish. So I'm not a hater with the special effects. I think some of the special effects were cool, but some looked cartoonish. So it's kind of a mixed bag right there. That's the best way I can describe this movie, is that it's quite a mixed bag. It's got talented people, it has a talented director, but it just didn't fully work. And I'm not trying to be an a-hole here. I was trying to be positive towards this movie, but the fact is, it just doesn't fully work. There are times where I kind of enjoyed watching it, where I thought it was somewhat entertaining. There were moments where, I guess that's really it. There were moments where I was entertained, but other moments I was bored and just waiting desperately to laugh. The Ghostbusters remake just was not for me. If you liked it, that's terrific. If you hated it, that's good for you. I'm not trying to be on anybody's side. I'm speaking for myself, and I didn't really like this movie all that much. It's got a few things that were okay about it. I'm probably leaving some of the positives out, but that's because the negatives outweigh everything good about the movie. So, my final rating for Ghostbusters 2016 is a 2.5 out of 5, which I'm personally going to say I think is generous because I don't desire to really watch this movie again. And personally, I'm glad I saw it on Blu-ray in the comfort of my own home because I think I'd probably hate it more in theaters. At least I could pause it and, get up and pet my cat and my dog. So guys, that's my final rating for Ghostbusters 2016. This review went on a little longer than what I wanted it to do, but I hope that you at least understand where I'm coming from. Yes, I'm a fan of the original, and I'm open-minded to remakes sometimes. There are some remakes I like, but they should have just left this series alone. Or at least continued it from the original timeline. I don't think there's going to be a sequel because this one technically flopped, but if that happens, I'm not going to even bother with it. So, 2016 Ghostbuster Remake, not for me. But let me know what you thought. If you saw the movie, let me know. If you did in fact like it, I just cannot say that I did. So, I'm going to go now before I blow a gasket. Alright, so thank you for watching. If you can at least appreciate my opinion and respect it, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you're going to give me a dislike, you probably already did so thank you very much, I guess. Peace out, guys. I will catch you guys when I catch you, whatever.